Developing processes in your business to capture electronic signatures can feel complex, but the reality is that this sort of technology has a huge number of benefits and is actually pretty simple to use. I myself had dragged my heels on deploying a suitable solution in my own business, even though I've been advising other clients on how such tools work and can build efficiencies for some time. But now I've done it, there's no looking back. It helps me every day, and these tools can help you too. So in this video, I'm going to look at how you can use DocuSign with Microsoft 365. This is one of the big players in the electronic signature space and has a rich set of integrations into your apps and into Power Platform to help you manage every step of your signature capture journey. So this is all about efficiency, right? Well, electronic signatures are certainly more efficient than the alternative paper-based strategy. But in my opinion, there are two other reasons why they should be part of any business that sends documents for signature to clients. And I actually think both of these reasons are more important than the efficiency angle. Firstly, it creates a clear and accessible source of truth for your documentation that's accessible to both you and your client. I've had situations in previous roles where I've gone back and forth with a client on contractual changes, only to find that the copy of the contract that they submit as signed is not the one that I believe is the latest copy to be executed. With a platform like DocuSign, this is impossible. You know everyone is working from the same page, and as you move on from signature, you have that record in one place for as long as you require it, rather than rifling back through a filing cabinet full of old papers full of signatures. Second, and this is the big reason I brought these tools to Bright Ideas Agency, I think that technology goes through phases where initially early adopters get some points from many customers for appearing innovative, but there's no penalty to those who don't have it. And over time, these scales tip, and the businesses that have adopted the tool no longer look that innovative, but those that haven't look a little out of touch. Remember, there was a time when it was okay to say, no, we don't have a website, or please call or mail, we don't do email. That time has passed for those technologies, and I think it's starting to pass for electronic signature. This is just a tooling that customers expect because it makes their lives easier while also making your life easier too. Having a single portal through which signed documents originate and return can also make efforts for automation much simpler. Searching back through email attachments to find that signed document is never efficient and becomes more complex if you're not entirely sure who received it or who originally sent it. With a platform like DocuSign, it really does just one thing. So you know where you're going to find that one thing and where to initiate any automation that will support your processes. So let's dive into DocuSign, set up a new trial account, create a first envelope, see how it can work with Microsoft 365, and lastly, we're going to look at what you can do with it using Power Automate. To get started, we're just going to head over to DocuSign.com and we can start on the try for free to set up a trial account. As always, all the data and user accounts shown in this video are purely for demonstrative purposes. You just go ahead and put your email address in, then add your name and your phone number. It'll send you a verification code, and the last thing you want to do is set up a password. And if you want to, you can set up this information which helps it to personalize your setup. I'm not really sure what it does to personalize, so in this case I'm just going to go ahead and skip, and I'm going to skip here as well. So you can see that when you get started, you just have this kind of dashboard that you've got letting you see what's going on, and you have 30 days in your trial plan to try out all of the features that you want to try out. So the easiest thing to do is just to grab a document and bring it into this box in the middle of your screen, and then you can go ahead and start signing. If the content in this video is useful to you, please do remember to hit the like button, and if you want to see more like this, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you'll know as soon as I release the next video. Additionally, if content like this would be useful to people in your network, please consider sharing it there too. Thanks. So I'm just uploading a document from my desktop here. And you can see I just got a simple Word document. You can use PDFs as well if you want to do that. And you can upload from your desktop, and you can connect different services if you want to here as well. So you can upload directly from the cloud. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some people who need to sign. So Let's think about Megan in our environment here who's going to sign. So I'm going to add her in here. If you've added someone before, they'll be in the drop down here, but because I haven't added Megan before, I need to type in her address. And then I can work out what I want her to do. So I either need her to sign or I need her to sign in person. That's an upgraded feature if you get a kind of higher level plan. She receives a copy or she needs to view the document. And I can customize what she gets. So I can send her an access code that I give to her separately to get into this, or I can add a private message. So I'm not going to go ahead and do any of those things at this point, but I am going to add another signer. And I think the only person I'm going to have in here is Prabdeep, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I need to get my customer to sign, and then I'm going to sign. So I'm going to set the signing order of Megan needs to sign first, and then I need to sign second. So then I can just enter a message, I can change the email subject, I can change the body, and once I've done that, I can just go ahead and click next. And you can see what it does now is it shows me my document. So what I need to do here is to put in this document what information I want to capture. So I can go ahead and say that I want the signature of Megan to go here, and I want her name to go here, and I want the date that it was signed to go here. And you can see this is yellow and it says Megan Bowen up here. If I want to change over to where Prabdeep's signature goes, I'm going to change this to Prabdeep. And again, I'm going to put his signature here. I'm going to put his name here. And I'm going to put the date signed here. And you can play around with this, you can move them around. You can also go ahead and add in custom fields if you want to. So I'm going to add one. I'm just going to call this additional info, and I've got different types that I can have here. So I can have an approval, a decline, a drop down. But for the time being, I'm just going to keep this as text. I'm not going to have an initial value. I'm going to mark it as required. And then you can change around what it's going to look like as well. So I'm just going to leave this as default for the time being. I'm going to save, and I'm going to add that additional info here. You can see we can make our box bigger, smaller, whatever we want to do with it, and we can add text in there if we want to. So actually, I don't want Prabdeep to fill this out. I want Megan to fill that out. So I'm going to change which recipient is going to fill that out. So let's just go ahead and send that and see what it looks like. You can see I've got one envelope where I'm waiting for others. So you can see I'm now waiting for others. So I'm just going to jump over to Megan's account quickly. So you can see over in Megan's email, she's received this from Prabdeep. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to click on review document. And you can see I get the message from Prabdeep. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue. And it shows me where it wants me to fill stuff out. So I can go ahead and fill this out. It gives my name in there. I've already got that in there. It's got the date in there as well. So that all fills out immediately. But let's just jump back to Prabdeep's a second. So you can see again, if I go into my waiting for others, I have this here. And I'm going to click in and I'm going to take a look at the status. So you can actually see when the other party views your document as well. So this is kind of useful to know if someone is sitting on a contract, they're maybe not signing it, but they've already looked at it, or you just haven't got it back because they haven't looked at it yet. So jumping back to Megan's view, I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. And then to sign, I click on sign. I get to choose what my signature is going to look like. If I want to, I can draw it. If I want to, I can upload an image of it. But I'm just going to go ahead and use what DocuSign suggests. I'm going to adopt and sign. And then I can finish. And you can see that as soon as I've finished, it gives me the opportunity to set up an account, but I don't have to set up an account to do this. So the people that you're sending this to do not have to have a DocuSign account, they don't have to pay anything, and they don't have to create a DocuSign account in order to use it. So that's just an important thing to note. And jumping back into Prabdeep's view of this, you can now see that I have one which is requiring action. So I'm going to click on this, and it says that I now need to sign it. It shows me when Megan signed it, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign it. I'm going to go ahead and click sign. I've got my adopt and sign there, and I can finish it. And I have this completed document. So if I ever want to see this completed document in future, I can go in here and I can take a look at it. Now there are other things that you can do. One of the things that's really useful is creating templates. So what templates allow you to do is to have a document that you will use regularly and just use it each time. You can change the people that it's being sent to, but you don't necessarily need to keep the rest of the information in there. So the one that I've just done, I can actually save as a template now. So if I go ahead and save that as a template, you can see that either I can have signer 1 and signer 2 in here, or if I want to select Prabdeep as always being signer 2, then I can go ahead and do that, and I can just save him in there so that each time he sends this out to someone, he's going to have to put in a new signer 1, but he's always going to be signer 2. I can change the name of the template, my template, and I can put a description if I want to. Go ahead, save and close, and I have a template there. So now if I go and take a look at my templates, you can see I have a template here that I can use. If I click on use, I don't need to upload anything again. I already have my document formatted the way I want it to be formatted. I already have Prabdeep as the second signer, and I just need to put a signer in here. So it makes things that are standard a lot speedier. And there are other features here that you can use to make things speedier. You do need an upgraded account from kind of the basic account to do it, but one of the things you can do is have pre-fill items as well. So if you like have a contract that you need to change each time, then you can pre-fill that in DocuSign rather than creating a new Word document every time you want to do that. So another really useful feature with DocuSign is the fact that you can work with it directly from inside Microsoft Word. And you do need to have the desktop version of Word to do this. You can't do this in the web version. But if you just open up a Word window and you go to the Insert ribbon, you can see that there's a Get Add-ins option here. And if you go into that Get Add-ins and you search for DocuSign, you can see there are 2 different add-ins for DocuSign here. So I'm just going to use the DocuSign for Word. I'm not going to go through the templates for Word right now. I'm just going to add this. And once that's added in, you get a DocuSign menu item up here to look at the DocuSign ribbon. And you can see that there are several things that you can do here. You can sign documents, you can request signatures. There's a settings item here as well. So what I want to look at is requesting signatures. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. I'm going to allow and continue. And then it's going to ask me to sign in to DocuSign. So once that signs in, it takes the document that you're currently working on in Word and brings it directly into DocuSign. So you can be editing, say, a template of a contract in Word, and you can just click on Request Signatures, and you can go through the process and add this into DocuSign and send it out directly from there. So the last thing I want to show you is that there is a Power Platform DocuSign connector which allows you to work with DocuSign in Power Automate. So let's go ahead and create a flow. And I'm going to create an automated cloud flow. We're going to go ahead and search for the DocuSign trigger. And you can see that we have things like when an envelope status changes. So, for example, when someone signs something, I can get a notification from that. So let's go ahead and use this. I'm going to go ahead and sign into DocuSign. I can select my account. I can create a name for my connection. I can select the envelope event. So when an envelope is sent, when it's declined, when it's corrected, when it's completed. So let's select completed. And I'm going to say that when an envelope is completed, I want a notification to Teams. So I'm just going to post a message in a chat or channel. I'm going to put it in a chat. I'm going to put my own address in here. And then we can go ahead and you can see that we have all of these different items that we can use here. So I've got my status, I've got the sending information, I've got my recipient information. So let's just type recipient name, and you can see there may be multiple signers, so it does it for each one. Recipient name, sign the document. So that's just going to post a simple message to Prabdeep. So let's just go ahead and save that. And heading back over to DocuSign, I'm just going to send out this template again. So jumping back over to Megan, you can see I have a new document. I'm going to go ahead and sign that. And then I'm going to do the same for Prabdeep. You can see this has now been updated to completed. So I'm going to jump over to Teams. And you can see in Teams, I have my message from Flo that Prabdeep signed the document. So there are actually lots of other things that you can do with Power Automate and DocuSign. You can see if we just take a look at the DocuSign connector, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do to automate all of your processes with DocuSign. So while there is only one trigger here for when an envelope status changes, there are lots and lots of actions that you can use with DocuSign to automate whatever you need to do with signing. So it's a very powerful tool that you can use in a lot of places in your organization. There's far too much to cover with DocuSign to do it justice in just one video. I'm going to put a link below to a recent Power Platform community video that goes into far more detail about automating processes using Power Automate and DocuSign together. In terms of pricing, it's really reasonable even for the smallest of businesses. Packages start at $10 per month to send 5 envelopes, so basically if you can see $2 in savings in time for each contract you're going to send, then it pays for itself. If you want more focused capabilities, further customization and tools to help you streamline further, like those pre-fillable fields, the pricing goes up from there. And there are lots of other options in this space too. The big 2 other options that you might want to look at are Adobe Sign, which is delivered through an Acrobat subscription, or Dropbox Sign, which until recently was called HelloSign. Both of these have the same core features but different options, and each is priced slightly differently based on the package you get. For example, Dropbox Sign is a little more expensive to get started than DocuSign, but you're not limited on the number of signatures you can collect each month. So just look at a solution that has a package that works for you and for the types of automations that you want to do. Ultimately, whatever solution you choose, adding electronic signature to your business will make your processes more efficient, help with document management, and make you look more professional and streamlined to your customers or other stakeholders. As always, if you run a small business and you need help with digital transformation projects such as this, please consider getting in touch to see what working with me on a project could look like. There's details of how to get in touch with me below. Thanks for watching through to the end. I hope this has been valuable for you, and until the next video, bye bye.